What's up, guys? Welcome back to
The Ride Home.
My name's Mitch, and I'm here with my friends.
Trip and Daniel.
And today we're talking about social media.
Oh yeah, social media.
Good topics.
Yeah, a lot to talk about. But first, I have had some current events come up that have made me go relive my past a little bit in terms of video games. Okay, we talk a lot about video games.
Yeah.
At least personally, and on the show, somebody, I guess. So what I've been thinking about is like my favorite video game from my past, because this context, my favorite video game has been Skyrim growing up. I played the game a ton as a kid, and they just today released the remake of the game before Skyrim. So that's Oblivion. They remade Skyrim like 20 million times at this point, and they're like, well, we're never going to release the next game. Let's remaster the one before.
Right.
So, but that just had me thinking, we've talked about Call of Duty a lot. I don't know, maybe that is your guys' favorite games, but I was wondering if you guys had different favorite games or specific games like from when you were younger that give you nostalgia. In terms of like, what was your favorite game?
Yes.
So, I didn't give you time to think about this, so it's just.
Yeah, I don't want to answer too
Unfiltered
quickly
opinion.
and like regret my answer and miss like an absolute gem.
Yeah, for real.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely a big one.
Right.
And I guess there could be different like stages, because I remember like I had one when I was a little kid, and then I kind of progressed to Skyrim. It definitely didn't start out that way. But.
So I'll get out of the way that like I've always played Madden and Call of Duty, like the most stereotypical games. Love those both. But I want to pick like a couple of my life that like are iconic to me. Like I was super into. Most recently, I played Hogwarts Legacy. Phenomenal game. Like one of the best games I've played in my whole life. So I really love that.
Okay, I don't know anything about the game, but that's
I don't either.
Once you unlock your broom and you can fly around, it's like free roam, huge map, giant map. But there's like a campaign as well, kind of like Red Dead.
Okay,
but
wow, that's not the vibe I all assumed.
Yeah, but you're a wizard. Yeah. So very cool. I do remember on the Nintendo DS, Super Mario 64.
Oh yeah.
Loved that game. Grinded it out. Collected 100 stars. Beat Bowser in the final castle.
Wow, I don't think I've ever actually beat a Mario game. Like I've played a lot of them. I don't think I've ever. I've gotten to that point where
I don't think so either.
I've beat like 2 or 3. I'm not gonna lie.
That is genuinely impressive.
I'm a bit of a Mario guy. Yeah. Those two, shout out to those two. Mario when I was a kid on the DS, and then more recently, Hogwarts Legacy. Great game.
Awesome. Yeah.
I'd have to say for probably Halo.
Oh yeah.
Growing up.
Okay.
Like I didn't have an Xbox or anything like that. My childhood friend did at the time, and that's like all we'd have like the stayovers and that, like Friday night, of course. You have like the Mountain Dew, the pizza, Hot Pockets, and all the
man. A little bit. I'm thinking like Mountain Dew and what were those? Not pizza rolls. It was like the pizza bagels. Oh, the pizza bites.
Those are
I don't know if they still make those, but like,
they make the bagels.
Do they? Man, we used to pound those down.
Oh yeah.
The split screen days. We didn't do Halo, but like what was before Call of Duty? Medal of Honor, split screen.
I used to. Me and my friends played like Star Wars Battlefront. It's the same kind of shooter. We do split screen, but then every now and then you're a Jedi. It was
every once in a while I go back to Battlefront 2.
Yeah, Battlefront 2 is a legendary game.
Yeah.
On that, they remade it, but I haven't played it.
Quick bonus content. What do you guys think's like the best console of all time?
Oh, okay.
It can include handhelds.
This will trigger some
time.
Yeah, include handhelds if you want.
Yeah. Okay, I think I've got mine. Well, in terms of like the console I got the most enjoyment out of.
Yes.
Was definitely the DS, like the
okay.
I mean, I guess like any DS, the 3DS or whatever is fine too. But like I don't know, the touchscreen and then the not touchscreen. It opened the world to so many possibilities with games that no other system has been able to like.
And like some games
have in that way.
The whole screen was like the game, and then others was like, like your menu or something, and then the game. Very great.
I remember playing Call of Duty on.
Yeah, on like the like LAN, like everyone on the school bus on the way, we were playing Call of Duty on our DSs.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That and GTA.
I never played GTA on a DS. What about you, Daniel?
I don't know.
Stir the pie if you want. I don't care.
Throw the GameCube out there. I know you're thinking
it. Actually, believe it or not, I don't think I ever did play GameCube.
Really?
Yeah. Me neither.
Oh, man,
I should feel ashamed.
Not until college, actually.
I remember as a kid, this was not something I liked, but I had the GameCube for years. It was it was great. And then one day, my mom wanted to. There was some kid that had cancer, I think. And at the time, I was so bummed out that I had to give my GameCube away to kid with cancer. But looking back, I'm glad I did.
Are you?
Oh yeah, no, I am.
Okay.
But that was a great one too. I think it's very slept on though.
100%. Sounds like it. But I'd have to say, honestly, Xbox.
Which one?
Yeah. That's...
You gotta specify. He wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready for that
coming. You should have seen it coming.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like most recently I've liked the Series X and that.
Really?
That's what I've got right now. But
Mitch?
The OG, I'd say like the 360.
360.
Yeah. Honorable mention to the Wii.
Yeah. That was where I was like, that was my toss up.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Nintendo guy, but I feel like this is where I always find myself going back to.
Yes, I can still go play the Wii.
Yeah.
Honorable mention to the Wii because I had played it with my siblings all the time. Anytime we had company, the aunts and uncles, whoever, we'd be playing the Wii. So great, like party console
for sure.
But for my personal choice, the PlayStation 2.
That was a great console. Yep. They had so many games.
So many games. 2. Yes.
I feel like that variety isn't there anymore.
Yeah, that was a lot of like movie games and stuff, and they were good. Like I remember the Incredibles game was really good, and Shrek was so hard. And the reason I thought of this question at all was because of your question. I was thinking about making my one of the most iconic games of my childhood, like the Aragon game. I don't even know if anyone knows what Aragon is. It's like an old dragon movie.
Yeah, they had a bunch of books. I think
I
think the books are pretty popular. But
yeah. And they made like one movie, I think.
Yeah.
The movie wasn't good. I tried to read the books. Never really big for my age. But the game was so good. And I played that game through like 6 times.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah.
Yeah, back on the PlayStation 2, my games were like all the Jak and Daxter games. I don't know if I knew about those.
I did not.
There was I think there was 3 of them, and then there was like a spin-off they made way later. But those were great games.
Man, so many games. ATV versus.
Oh yes, MX versus ATV.
Yeah.
Unleashed.
The soundtracks on those. I was listening to like a random rock playlist at the gym, and one of those songs from that game came on. I was like, I know this song. It took me right back. Jeez. Okay, what's our topic anyways?
Social media.
Yeah, I know. I'm just testing you guys. Today's episode is sponsored by Bounce.
Yeah, double Bounce.
Bounce dryer sheets.
Yeah.
Trip makes them. I support them. And they pay both of our bills.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that you sold them. He makes them, you sell them?
No.
Leave that to the professionals at Walmart.
Yeah, we're not quite there.
Highly trained.
No, I just make sure they get sent.
That's right.
Kind of.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Bounce.
Yeah.
And,
now we're gonna bounce into this conversation.
There we go. I was looking for that transition. Thank you.
Yeah. So, social media. I think it's important that we set what social media is into a scope, because I feel like social media can be such a wide range of things.
Yeah.
I think it's important. I think we should narrow it down for this conversation to specifically like, I think like the big like 4 like, X, Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's any other. Okay, TikTok is a maybe, but like I definitely don't consider YouTube a social media. I know some people consider YouTube social media. I think that's different.
Yeah, that was like a whole avenue I was thinking about, because I was like, and maybe we could go through and say like which social media we like use and stuff that might set the stage a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like for me, I'll go ahead and start with that. I use like Facebook mostly, and then I use Snapchat exclusively for just messaging like 2 people. They're the whole reason I have Snapchat. I don't know why they don't text, but we message on Snapchat, and then like I'll use YouTube Shorts a lot. I'm like, the YouTube Shorts is like TikTok, but I don't know anyone on there. Is that social media? So I'm glad we're setting the scope. So I won't like talk about that.
Yeah, I feel like for this context, it's not. That could be a different episode though. That's good. So for me, I use so I have Snapchat and TikTok both on my phone, but I almost never use them. If we're talking big scope
or text messages.
Okay, I text.
3 days later.
Not social media.
I'm sorry.
Not super
just
well. I do send text messages occasionally.
Yeah.
I have Instagram, which I'm actually really downloaded that again because we have an Instagram page for the ride home. Shout out to that.
Same.
And I have my personal account open again. I'm in my first post since I got engaged about this podcast. So I don't use that much, but I have it downloaded also. And I mostly just use Facebook. But I remember a few years ago I deleted everything and slowly got back into stuff, but I don't really use them too much anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, probably my mains are obviously the Facebook and Instagram and that. And I had Snapchat downloaded too, but just the other day, I was like, you know what? I don't even use this.
Yeah.
I literally only text one person that lives in a different country, and that just well, now I have WhatsApp, and it's like, you know, I don't need Snapchat anymore. So
I think the first thing that we're discovering is that we're all getting kind of old.
Yeah, for real.
Like I remember as a kid being like, I had Facebook because it was convenient, and that's really the only reason I didn't get rid of Facebook. But like, I'll scroll Facebook now. Like I'm not posting anything, but like I'm scrolling.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I remember making fun of my parents for that.
I don't know. I really don't use Facebook to like read people's posts that much. Maybe a quick scroll, but usually I go to Facebook for like the shorts, the videos, just like YouTube shorts or maybe Marketplace. So
amen.
I don't post much either. I get tagged in a lot, and I like to go and see the pictures I'm tagged in, you know, like the Easter photos and stuff. Like, oh yeah, this turned out good.
Yeah,
I'm kind of the same way, just Marketplace basically, getting on there.
Now I did used to use social media a lot, so I don't feel like a total rookie.
Oh yeah, I used to use it a lot, in a lot of different ways. There's different. Yeah, I had a lot of evolutions with
like I had Twitter
social media
before it was X, and Instagram used that a lot. Vine, well, Vine wouldn't count.
Oh yeah, I never had Vine.
R.I.P. to Vine, man. It was fun.
Respect.
You guys, do you remember Yik Yak? It might have been the year before you.
I do not call it Yik Yak.
Yeah, so Yik Yak was like it was awful. It got banned really quickly.
Oh.
It was like on college campuses. It was an anonymous posting, like Twitter, but everyone was anonymous. And it was only in like your proximity of like 3 miles.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It was interesting, man. It was an interesting app my freshman year of college.
Yeah, so talking about specifically like the spectrum we're talking, I think social media for me has always been something that's like it's a weird spot, right? Because there's things where I see it has a really good value,
sure,
but then I see like it has super negative effects also.
Yes.
100%.
So it's a hard balancing act, and it's hard to really. It can be hard to talk about because it's like, I don't know, like it's hard to take a stance. You can't take one way or the other. It's really one thing. You kind of have to self-moderate if you choose to use it.
Yeah.
But it definitely has great value in being able to connect with others.
Yep.
And keep in contact with people that you wouldn't keep in contact with otherwise.
Absolutely. Daniel could probably speak to that. I know you've like met people online and stayed connected through social media and stuff like that, right?
Oh yeah, like through actually, believe it or not, gaming.
Yeah.
playing Call of Duty and that, and the most rageous one is Rainbow Six Siege, Tom Clancy.
Okay.
But yeah, I've met a couple people from a different couple different countries actually, and we still talk here and there.
I'm too scared to talk online games.
Yeah, no, I first thing I do is hit that mute all button instantly. It's like I'm not even interested.
Yep. I also think social media is really good for just like broad communication, like for things like this podcast. Like, how hard would it be to like collect a following before social media, right?
Yeah, but now like everyone in our families, all our friends, everyone through the church, we can just hit 5 buttons basically, and boom, we let them know.
Right. And the same things for like large life events, engagements, and then like the flip side, like I don't know, a funeral or something. You don't gotta call everyone in the brother and like let them know.
Yeah, and then like plans. Reunions. I mean, all those big
events.
Big picture things. It's great to have for.
Super.
And even now, like on Facebook, you can send invitations to things. I've got invitations to like kids' birthday parties, baby showers, all kinds of stuff on there, and it's just so convenient. But I do think the convenience comes at a cost. A lot of times.
Do elaborate.
Yeah. So, I think they're all like they get their money by keeping you on there, and their algorithms, in my opinion. Okay, I mean this is probably partially true to how they actually code it, but they're hardwired to to figure out and get you hooked on the things that your brain is going to obsess on.
Yeah.
And a lot of times those things are going to be sins or like temptations that we struggle with.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself, you're someone who compares yourself to people, you're going to keep seeing the people who you're comparing yourself to, and you're going to linger on that post.
Yeah.
And the algorithm is going to know. It's like, okay, keep posting the people that you're going to compare them to. Like maybe he compares it with looks. Maybe he compares with wealth. It's going to keep just feeding that to you.
Yeah.
It's going to feed that comparison addiction, that comparison battle. If you struggle with lust and you linger 2 seconds on that post of some girl or something or some guy, it's going to keep feeding that to you, and then it's just going to spiral to the point where like that's your feed.
Yeah.
And if you struggle with those things, especially like I know like comparison, lust, like they are designed to trap you in that, I feel like. And to the point where like you might want to consider not having it if those are things you struggle with.
Absolutely. I read a book back around Christmas called The Anxious Generation. And he spends like 3/4 of the book just talking about like his research. And I'm going to try to sum up a whole book in like 2 seconds here. But essentially his findings was that from like 2008 to 2015, teens and young adults, you know, like 12 to 23 or something. Mental health, depression rates, anxiety, and just mental health in general, like had a huge decline, like over 50% in girls and over 30% in guys. And what he correlated it to was the iPhone coming out in 2008 and then in 2011 with a front-facing camera. Same year Instagram came out. And just study after study that was not his own, just like repeated the same statistics. So it's definitely definitely true what you're saying. True.
Yeah, I mean, so I haven't read this book, I don't know the statistics, but I would say there's probably multiple things there. Like not only are now they're like being surrounded by that sin, but the social media, it's almost like an oxymoron because you're not being social typically. And a lot of times I feel like this generation has become less social because they've turned to doing everything online, and are having less face-to-face contact. Which is definitely detrimental.
I don't want to talk about this book too much, but like it said on that same thing too about how professors in 2014 students would chat with one another before class started, and now if you go into a classroom, everyone's staring at their phone in silence. They don't know their peers' names, things like that. And that's true even in my life. Like I don't know the names of the neighbors on the sides of me. I've said hi before and they're like, oh hi, but just run right in the house, and that's everywhere in the store. with youth, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's hard.
That's one thing that I've really liked about right now when I'm going to drill for the Air National Guard. We're not allowed to use our phones, so like we've kind of been forced to make friendships with these people around us, and it's definitely been able to like have us connect to where I'm only there seeing these guys once a month for a couple days, but I'm able to have relationships and make friendships there.
That's cool.
Where otherwise I would definitely just be scrolling on my phone or wasting time. So it's been super neat.
It's funny how easy it is to make relationships when you have to, like at work, when you're surrounded by your coworkers, or situations where you can't have a phone, things like that. It's usually not that hard to talk to people, but we make it hard.
For real.
Doom scrolling is super easy to do. Like we said earlier, I only have mostly Facebook is the only social media I use, but I find myself when I'm at home, especially like just not having much to do, just like scroll, and I'm like, man, what am I doing wasting so much time? Like just putting off chores, or I could like read or even like play games with my friends or something.
Get a dub in Warzone.
Exactly.
And I think another thing, we have a lot of people, like I hear people all the time will say like, I don't have time for devotional, or I don't have time for like this much devotional, or like they struggle with their prayer life, where you could cut out tiny bits of time from what you just doom scrolling, and just imagine if you took that 10 minutes of doom scrolling and you read a chapter of the Bible, you prayed, like that's going to make a massive life impact just in that short amount of time.
Yeah.
And heck, I've been guilty of that too. It's like, I tell people and I tell myself like, I don't have time. Like, I probably won't be able to make that because I don't have time. And then it's like, I'm just sitting there like,
sitting at the house.
Like,
yeah. It's easy to make the excuse too. Like, you get that thought. I think it's the Holy Spirit. Like, hey, you could do something more productive right now. You could be in the Word. You could just do a chore. Help your wife out, whatever it is. And I'm like, well, I'm not really in the right mindset to be in the Word right now. I'm like distracted. Like not thinking about holy things. And that's such a silly thing to say out loud, but it's so easy to make excuses when you want to make an excuse, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what social media helps you enable to do, right? Is just to make excuses.
Yeah,
sometimes.
It really lets you kind of like step out of reality for a little bit and kind of just feel like, okay, like I'm turning myself off. I'm turning on social media, and I'm just kind of just gonna like zone out.
Yeah.
I think that'd be super dangerous if it's abused. Now, I do think there are people who they do it right. Like I've never been like, I don't use social media really, but like there are those who, if they're just sharing life events, they share family pictures here and there. I think that is great and can be useful.
Yep.
But it's just knowing yourself and knowing how to keep yourself from that doom scrolling or wasting all your time on there is super important, especially when you're younger, because all your friends are going to be on there already.
Right.
So, but you don't want to be, another one of the sheep. You want to be able to stand up for, like, be your own person, and not be a zombie to our phones or slave to your phone. And I think there's a really helpful tool on your phones for this. Is just set a limit.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's that easy.
Yeah, I've done that. And then slowly, like, you can have the add 10-minute thing.
Yeah.
And on the weekends, I found myself always doing the add 10 minute. I'm like, well, maybe I'll make my timer on the weekend longer than the weekday.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't use my phone that much on weekdays. I've realized I use it mostly on the weekend. So I need to go back and set that and stick to it. So it does take some self-discipline as well, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And like, if you're in a season of life where you have someone close enough to you, you could do this. I don't know if you're like in college or high school. I don't know if you would, and maybe like a parent or something. But you could even have someone else set the passcode. Right. That's one thing I've heard. Like if you have like a significant other, if you're dating someone, or even if you're engaged or getting married, you could be. We were at this age. So as you were too.
Yeah, technically.
You're engaged. I mean, like if you in that like season of life where you have someone who you're reliably with, have them set the passcode for your whatever your timer, to where like if you have to get back in, you can say, hey, like, can you put the passcode in real quick? That way you're not tempted to just keep hitting that add extra time, extra time. Because I've definitely come to places where I'm just hitting add extra time and then wiping out the limit.
All I can think about is if someone sets a different passcode and that it's like, I just need a passcode, just one number at a time or something, you know? I just need one number. That's all I need.
It is funny though, like when your app is grayed out or whatever at the end of time, how much you just mindlessly like pull up your phone to like take a quick scroll and you're like, oh yeah, it's blocked. And you're like, oh, let me take a quick, oh, it's blocked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, I am awful. Like I didn't realize how many times I wish I could like count how many times I like lift my phone up and look at it for no reason.
I can't say how many times like I've noticed I've done this recently. Like I'll pull up my phone, I'll just go on Facebook, I'll close out Facebook, and then I'll be sitting there, I'm like, oh, I should open Facebook. Like, like I literally just closed it and I open it again. I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing?
Literally, yeah. Like, I know like people listening can relate to that as well.
Yeah. And it's like
same.
Yeah, so yeah, we're definitely not perfect. That's a great thing to emphasize here. Like we are all definitely in this boat.
Yeah, making myself vulnerable
on this
podcast. Lots of admitting and stuff here.
Yeah. So there's definitely room for growth.
Yes.
But like knowing, okay, how do we improve that? Yeah.
Yeah. So what I've started doing for that is I'm trying to like leave my phone like on the weekends or when I'm with Shay. Like if she's bringing her phone, I'm just trying to like leave my phone. Like I don't need it. We don't need two phones to go to the store, right?
Yeah.
I don't need my phone when I'm just in the house. I can leave it in the bedroom. So that's been like what I've been trying to do more often. So that's definitely helpful. Because then you go to check and you're like, oh, I think I left it upstairs. I don't know where I left it, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to go find it. I don't need it.
Yeah, that's great. I've noticed like I've had to do that. Like I've had to do it recently because I work the 12-hour shifts.
Yeah.
So my phone will be dying. I'll have to leave it on our charger. So then I go to do something. And then I'm like, oh, where's my phone? I was like, oh, wait, it's charging. So then, like, it forces you to be in the moment.
Yeah.
Which is great. I feel like it really lets you experience things instead of just mind-numbing your way through the day.
Right.
Yeah.
I find myself so much more productive when it's not on my hip.
Yeah.
Like, I finish a task, and usually I'd be like, I did a task. Let me take a little break. And then it's like, you sit down, and you're like, well, on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Let me go. Yesterday I washed the car and stuff, and I don't know, those are just little chores I never do. That well, I do, but you just don't do that often unless you like make the time for it, right? So
yeah,
it's a good example.
Yeah, I'll catch myself like just on Facebook Marketplace, just scrolling. I'm like, oh, that's a good deal.
That's
a
good
good deal.
When you're on Marketplace, I know. Sends me stuff like, oh, you should get this.
See, and that's the beauty of how it's designed, right? Like we all, I'm scrolling through the things, you're watching the videos, you're in Marketplace, but we're all spending hours on Facebook, right? Like it's designed to draw you in, no matter what the thing is. Like it knows, and it's gonna pull you into that. But like again, like I think healthy moderation and using it for productive things. I think another huge thing is like who you choose to follow. Is a big thing. Like if you know, man, I'm comparing myself to these celebrities all the time. Don't
100%.
Like it's that easy.
Especially like YouTubers and that.
Yeah, I remember
YouTubers.
Back when I did use Instagram before I decided to delete it for a long time.
Yeah.
I followed all these people. I'm like, man, I don't like. I'm friends with people on Facebook, so I need to connect with them for like reaching out from being a long time ago. I'm gonna connect to them there, but like I don't need to have 5,000. I didn't have 5,000, but I didn't have all these people that I'm following on Instagram. So I went like I unfollowed so many people.
Yeah.
If I unfollowed you, man, I'm sorry. But like, look, I went down to like less than 100 people that I was following, and it was just like it was mostly like soccer news things. Like it wasn't even people.
Yeah.
So like that definitely helps because then it's like, well, what am I going to scroll? Like there's 5 posts in the past. Now I guess they've changed it now to where like they just throw in random things to your feed too.
The algorithm thinks you might enjoy.
Yeah. But that definitely helps cut down on the mindless scrolling.
Yeah, and speaking of like what you follow and stuff, we've been talking about the algorithm a lot and how it puts things up that it thinks you'll enjoy. So I don't know about other apps, but Facebook, when you're scrolling on posts and like videos, there's a little X in the top right. So if you catch yourself on something that you're comparing yourself, you're caught in like a lustful moment, whatever it is, it's so quick and easy to press that X, and then it'll say like, why do you not want to see this? And you can say whatever. It's like, oh, it's offensive.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see less of this, and it will pretty much remove it from your algorithm. Right? It might pop up another time or two, but once you do that a few times, it's gone. So I've been able to like get myself a really good, well, to my opinion, feed where it's, you know, right now a lot of like workout stuff and some sports things, and still the doom scroll thing is real, but like that's a good tip for helping clean up your feed when the things that you feel like you don't have as much control over, because it just throws it at you.
Yeah, they do have the tools in there to filter. It's just knowing about them and actually using them.
Yes,
I feel like a lot of people don't take the time to do. They're just like, oh well, this is here anyway, and like if you're on a good day and you're seeing the things and it's like, oh man, I shouldn't watch this, just hit that X a few times.
Yep.
Because when it's a bad day, that's when it draws you in.
Exactly.
So, you know, getting rid of the temptations when you're in the good headspace is going to keep you from falling to them when you're not.
Yeah. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a little side note, like, it's wild to me, like, how our phones are, because it actually, I'm not going to lie to you. It, like, I don't know if I should say it, like, freaked me out, but like, so I was talking to a coworker of mine about a tractor because I was thinking about like doing some like lawn care on the side too. And so I'm like, I started pulling up my phone on the website and that, looking at like zero turns and, you know, weed eaters and that. And all of a sudden I was like, okay, enough of that. So it was just like on the normal site. Well, then all of a sudden I you know, scrolled out of that and then got on the Facebook, started looking. All of a sudden Cub Cadet. Yep. Bad boy mowers, like, you know, start rolling. I'm like, what the freak?
Talking to each other, man, all the time.
Yeah, they're all like
that is another thing. Like, if you fall for like advertising, just stay away from social media. Like, you're gonna spend all your money, man. They'll figure it out.
But what was really wild for me too is like, so like another coworker, he was standing on the other side of the counter, and of course he never typed any of this into his phone, and all of a sudden he was like, huh, I'm getting advertisements for lawnmowers now. And I'm like,
that's even.
Yeah. He didn't even type it in or anything.
They can hear you. And it's like when you're connected to the same Wi-Fi network, it can tell, and it's just, I don't know. It's wild. It's above my head. I just make dryer sheets, man. Bounce. Today's proud sponsor.
Yes. One of my things I enjoy about social media, but can be a slippery slope as well, is a lot of my friends, including myself, we like sending the videos, their shorts, the reels, whatever you call them, to each other. Yeah. It's like a love language almost.
Yeah, for real.
It's like, watch this video, I thought of you.
Yeah, I definitely had a lot of that when I was big on TikTok.
Yes.
I was just like, oh man, I gotta send this to my buddy.
Yeah, they're so funny, but it is like,
even we send videos sometimes.
Yeah, we do occasionally. But you open it and then it's the gateway to just keep scrolling. It brings you into a feed.
You get one and then it's like, well,
I
gotta see some more. Let me add this profile. Let me look at this profile real quick.
For real.
And then
see what their other videos are like. Yeah, so that's a gateway. But that's one where you gotta have like self-control and stuff, I guess. Use the same methods we've already talked about.
Yeah.
Because that's like it's like a good thing, staying connected and like sharing laughs with your friends that you can talk about next time you see it. Oh, did you like that reel I sent you?
Yeah. What it comes down to is really just, it's moderation.
Yeah.
And I feel that's with most things. Really. It's just moderation and knowing yourself, like knowing your own personal limits.
Right.
If you're really, really struggling with something, maybe you should go away from social media for a time.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're not. Maybe you have no issues with social media at all, and you're just like, it's whatever. I'll post and then I'll get off of it. Great. I'm glad. Awesome. Tell me your secrets.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Yeah. So all that being said, we have some social media.
Quality social media.
Yeah, quality. I don't know if we posted anything yet.
Nope.
By the time by the time you hear this, we will have.
Yes.
Yeah. This is like a little over like a week and a half before the first episode's released.
Yeah.
So
exciting.
This actually might be one of my last recording sessions for a very long time, which is a little sad.
Not exciting.
It's a little sad, but it's super exciting that you guys are going to be able to start hearing these. So we haven't. I don't know if we've said this on any other podcast, but if you've made it this far, go ahead and add us on social media.
Yes, please do.
We are on Instagram and on Facebook at
The Ride
Home Podcast.
The Ride Home I wasn't sure exactly what it was. I knew you. So the Ride
Home
Home Podcast.
I don't know why. It made me add an S on there at the end of podcasts.
As podcasts?
Because I went to go put podcast and it's like, that name's taken. So I looked it up. I'm like, that name is not taken. And I'm like,
when we go big, we'll buy it.
Yeah, we'll buy the domain. Don't worry. The Patreon will be the normal name.
This is the real deal here.
Yeah, awesome. But I think that's all I have. Do you guys have anything else you want to add to it?
I feel good about it. Without going down the rabbit hole, and then I feel like we could do a whole nother episode on just screens in general. But
for sure.
Yeah.
But no, overall, are they good? Are they bad? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know, but we're gonna just keep living life and working on it as we go, I guess.
Seeking Jesus and
regardless of what we're doing or how we're using social media, we just need to do it in a godly way, a God-focused way.
If you ask yourself that about social media, is this honoring God? That's probably the easiest way to know if you need to moderate or need to change something up.
Yeah.
That's what I will say too. Just to brag on our youth and that a little bit. Every time that we whenever we get the lesson done and we have them go out and play or we do a game after. Very rare do I see any of the kids on their phones. Sure. They're always living in the moment.
Super true.
Yeah.
Shout out to our youth.
Yeah, I know. I love our youth.
You know what? If you're not from our youth, when you're done listening to this, go climb a tree. Okay, you don't need to doom scroll. Find a tree somewhere. I don't care if it's like a Japanese maple that's 3 feet tall. Go get in that bad boy.
But heard it here. Okay.
But hey, that's all I have.
That's all I have.
I think we're good.
Thanks for joining us on
The Ride Home.